going on? Joe Coffey here for PremierGuitar.com. We're at the LA Amp Show 2008. We're in the California room checking out this crazy new cool amp, and I've got John Kelly Brown with me here. John, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good.
This is a very, very different amp. I want you to take us through it all. I got to say, first off, you walk in, you think, okay, there's a little head on top of a combo, yeah. But that is not what's going on here at all.
No. What's on top that looks like a head is a reverb unit, and it's an interesting circuit because it's two reverbs in one. It's got two tanks. One tank is a short tank, one is a long tank. So like in nature, a natural reverb, you're going to hear reflections off things that are close and things in the distance. So
you've got it labeled near and far, yeah, on all these little settings.
Exactly, near and far. It's simple as that, kind of, you know, Sesame Street like. Cool. So the idea is that it makes it a lot richer when you can blend those two aspects of what you would hear in nature, you know, reverb. It sounds so much more natural that way. So that's why it has a very big
is very different, man. That's really cool. And so you've got them both right there. So what's going on with this pot here that says dwell?
Well, that's the signal going into the reverb circuit. I usually like to keep it backed off a bit because, you know, I like to kind of keeps it kind of mellow. The blend, depending on whether the foot switch is activated or not. On normal, that's like during rhythm guitar. You can, you know, you can set the blend between near and far, and you can also set the level of the reverb depending on how you have the foot switch set for if you have a gainy amp, or like if you switch into a solo, you might want more reverb. You get a different setting for that scenario, so that it kind of makes it kind of cool that way.
Very cool.
And so yeah, so this is the blend. So the blend is and the level are both activated with that. And for the near tank, there's a tone switch for it, and for the far tank, there's a tone switch. So you can do some color changes in there.
Now, what's going on with the dual reverb tank on top here? I see inputs, but you're currently plugged into the input down here. What's going on there?
I'm using the effects loop in the back of the amp, and there's an effects loop, you know, that works with the reverb with that.
Okay, that's an easier way to do it. On the actual unit itself here, next to your volume knob, this is cool. It says voice, and it's got some different looking symbols up here.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, I wanted to completely be able to change the character of the amp by drastically altering the tone stack and a few other parameters, and so that's why I use a switch, so I can change several things at once.
Okay. Well, let's listen to the difference there.
Okay, now this one with it on this cymbal, it's a thinner sound, and it's more sparse, and it kind of gives a little sparklier. Okay. And then with when I switch it to the other one, it makes it fatter sounding, a little beefier.
That's cool. That's a noticeable difference. I mean, that's really thick.
Yeah. I wanted to be able to completely change the character of the amp so that you had two different voices, like hiring two different vocalists for your band, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Now, next to that, I see something that says viscosity. What's that about?
That does a lot also to change how thick the sound is, from very thin to real girthy and, you know, big, like viscosity, like heavyweight motor oil or something. So right now it's on the thinnest, but
so after that we've got some EQ and an interesting looking boost setup. Let's talk about the EQ first.
Okay, the EQ is just a typical tone stack. I mean, it's your, like any amp that would have a treble and a bass knob. What people would use is a mid-range. I pretty much set because I find that this amp sounds best with it set that way. And then the solo, that's when you flick this switch, and what it does, this drive is the amount of overdrive you get, and the level. What this does is it allows you to trim the amount of overdrive relative to the clean, to when you turn the overdrive off. Okay. It's not a master volume because this is not a master volume amp. All it does is it brings it down at the lowest, its unity with the level, so you can pretty much have the amount of overdrive, the same amount of loudness as if the amp was not overdriven. And then from there you can just crank it way up, so that way you hit a solo and you're way over the band if you want to be, almost too much. So I give you a lot there.
I referred to it as a boost, but I mean it seems like pretty much everything on here. You can't use the traditional terms. You come about this thing from a completely different angle.
Yeah, exactly. What I really wanted to do here is have the simplest amp possible that could do a wide variety of sound that still sounded. I don't like amps that do absolutely everything because then they don't have a soul. They don't have a voice of their own. Yeah. This always sounds like the Session King, but it gives you a wide range of tone. And so yeah, I'll switch it into the overdrive so you can hear what it can do. Rhythm, it sounds good overdriven like this. I wanted a very smooth overdrive too, nothing that real harsh stuff, but at the same time I didn't want it to sound just over bloated either, so just nice amount of distortion. One of the primary thing I'm shooting for with this amp is for the gigging session guitar player who wants to bring something in a recording studio and can crank the amp up and not be so loud that he's got a sound pressure level going into the drummer's microphones and everything, just ruining everything. So what this does is it does that. When you think of like Led Zeppelin 1 when Jimmy Page was using the Supro, or Cat Scratch Fever where he's using just a Brown Deluxe. These are little amps getting a huge sound just because you can crank them up in the studio and record the whole band at once. And not get it on everybody's microphone. So
very cool. Well, thanks for taking us through that.
I'll just play just a little bit more here so you can hear some of this overdrive.
Very cool. Hey, before I let you go, we should talk about the signal chain here so people know what's going on. Tell me about the pickups in this guitar.
These are John Suhr's pickups, and they're the Fletcher Landau, the FLs. They really sound good in this guitar. I love them. I've used John Suhr's pickups before, the V60s, and they're great pickups. When I tried these, though, they stayed in the guitar for sure.
Very cool. And in case you didn't know, hanging out in the back of the room here, we've got Ronnie North. Let's do this on the way out here. Let me ask you, what is the website people can go to if they want to find out more?
It's Kaliphoria. It's www.kaliphoriamusic.com, and it's spelled Kaliphoria, music.com.